ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः.
Well, thank you to the devotees of ISKCON in Finland who are preaching the glories of Lord Krishna in this land. Yehi adhunik pragati hai. So today, as you know, is Sri Krishna Janmashtami, the celebration of the appearance in this world of Lord Sri Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As he himself states in Bhagavad Gita, Paramam Purusham Divyam. This means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now you may ask, why do we say such a long thing? Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why don't we just say God? The answer is that when we say God, it's usually a very vague idea. Mostly people, even people who say they believe in God, don't have very much idea of who He is. And even though they profess to believe in God, they don't recognize that He is a person. Janmashtami is the celebration of Krishna's appearance in this world to show for our benefit who He is. There are many theories about who God is and what He is like. But to put an end to all speculative theories, Krishna comes and shows, I am like this. There is no need to say, I think God is like this, or I think He is like that. He is as He is. He is not subject to our opinion. So who is God? That is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What does this mean? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is described as Bhagavan. Bhagavan means the person who is possessed of all opulences. Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasha shriyaha jnana vairagya yoschaiva shanam bhaga itingana. Bhagavan means who has all opulence. Who is a very rich man in Finland? Any famous rich man here? All the businesses are owned by America and Japan, probably. As the rest of the world. You don't even know who they're owned by. You're working for some company. You don't even know who the boss is. It's so impersonal. Okay, let's say the name of some rich man. Bill Gates. We have no business discussing Bill Gates, but just as an example, he's well known as a rich man. Well, Krishna is millions and trillions and zillions and unlimitedly times richer than Bill Gates. Because everything that exists is Krishna's creation. Everything belongs to Krishna. Actually, nothing belongs to Bill Gates either. It all belongs to Krishna. So He owns everything. He is the most powerful. Generally, when we think of God, we think of someone very powerful. So Krishna is all-powerful. And whatever power anyone may have, that is just a tiny reflection of Krishna's power. Krishna is the most famous. Well, we might say, well, He's not that famous. People in India know Him, but not that many people in the Arctic Circle know Him. But you're going there and distributing books there also. Well, just for your information, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyaistavai. There are all the planets of the universe, the great leaders of the universe, all offer their prayers to Krishna. The people of this planet are very proud because they make a few technological devices like this, which doesn't work very well. But there are higher planets in the universe where people are far more advanced simply by yoga siddhi or mystic power, and they don't need this kind of thing. But even though they are very powerful compared to the insignificant people on this planet, namely us, they still feel obliged to bow their heads at the lotus feet of Krishna. So often people think, yes, God, He is the supreme power. But He is the supreme powerful. But He's not some big Hulk or monster. He is also the most beautiful. You can see. Give this Krishna book. It's in Hindi. There's a bigger picture. This is Krishna. Most beautiful. Who is that girl with Krishna? That is Radha. In the modern age, there's a great movement for feminism, that women and men should be equal. But in Gauriya Vaishnavism, we don't accept this. We worship Krishna. He is the supreme person. He is a male. But even more, we worship Radha because Krishna is subservient to female Radha. So we're better feminists than the feminists. So actually we're cheating a little bit when we say Krishna is the most beautiful, because Radha is the most beautiful. But actually they're non-different. So Viryasa Yashasha Shriyaha Jnana. Krishna knows everything. Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. This is the perfect summary of all higher spiritual knowledge. And Bhagavad Gita is relevant to all times and all places and all circumstances. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kaschana. Krishna says, I know everything. I know everything that happened I know everything that happened in the past. I know everything that's going on at present. And I know everything that will happen in future. But no one knows me. But elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Krishna cannot be understood by any intellectual process, but He can be understood by bhakti, loving devotion. So Krishna knows everything, and it is impossible for us who are so tiny to fully know Krishna. But if at all we are inquisitive to know about Krishna, if we are fascinated by Krishna, then we should study Bhagavad Gita to understand Krishna as He explains Himself to us. Now, Krishna is the most powerful. He owns everything. He is the most famous. He is everything and all in all. But at the same time, Krishna is the most renounced. He's not actually that much interested in being God, but He's very interested in loving His devotees. So Krishna comes to this world and He shows that God is not just some vague idea. He is a person. He is the supreme powerful. He is the supreme knowledgeable. But over and above that, He is the supremely beautiful. And He is the supreme loving. So although He is all powerful, He appears as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. And He exhibits His transcendental pastimes of love in the land of Vrindavan. Krishna comes to this world to invite us to join Him in His transcendental pleasure pastimes. Krishna appeared in this world and for 125 years performed amazing, wonderful pastimes of love. That is described in summary in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you have a set in English? So if we want to immerse our consciousness in hearing about the glories of Krishna, we can study Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day people read the newspaper. We read it one day and then we throw it away. But we have news of Krishna That is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is still fresh after 5,000 years. Why is that? Srimad Bhagavatam is not a history book. It is, if we read Srimad Bhagavatam even today, it is as fresh or fresher and better than reading the news. That is because Krishna is always fresh. We see here the picture of Krishna at Kurukshetra. At that time, by material calculation, Krishna was 125 years old. So if we can imagine what someone looks like, mostly people don't live to be 125, but if they did, all the skin would be drooped down, if any hairs were left, they'd be all white, not very attractive. But Krishna is not under the influence of time. Krishna is the controller of time. So even though he was 125 years old on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he still appeared like a fresh youth. Krishna is always fresh. So to hear about Krishna is always fresh. Therefore we have so many books about Krishna. And we always discuss about Krishna. In all our temples of Krishna all over the world, we only discuss about Krishna. Every morning and every evening we have classes. And every morning the subject of the class is Krishna. And every evening the subject of the class is Krishna. But there's so much to discuss about Krishna because Krishna is wonderful. Krishna performs wonderful activities in his various avatars. The most famous avatar of Krishna is Rama. This is his story in Ramayana. Lord Ram appeared in this world over 1 million years ago. At school we learn that our grandfather's grandfather's grandfather was a monkey. Well, maybe Charles Darwin's grandfather was a monkey. But we learn from the Vedic scriptures that human life has been present in this universe since the beginning of this universe. And Lord Ram appeared in this world more than 1 million years ago to defeat the demon Ravana. Krishna's other avatar, there are many avatars. Famous also is Nrsimhadev, who appeared in the form half man, half lion. Well, we may say, well, I don't believe that. How is that possible? But if at all we are to accept that there is God, then we have to accept that He can do that which to us seems impossible. And most likely He will do many things which are impossible, just to show He is God. So there are many forms of Krishna. The four-handed Narayan form, Rama, Nrsimha, Matsya is the form of God as a fish. Varahadev is his appearance among the animals in the form of a transcendental boar. B-O-A-R. Male pig. So Krishna has many, many avatars. But the original form of the personality of Godhead is Krishna. His avatars are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein in great detail is described Krishna's pastimes. His apparent birth, although he is unborn, Krishna was born in the prison house of Kamsa, and by his transcendental potency left the prison house and went to Vrindavan. Krishna performed pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka as the three principal places of his pastimes. But he also visited many other places, such as Kurukshetra, Kashi, Mithila, what is Vidarbha in present-day Maharashtra. He also visited Navadvip. He also went to the heavenly planets. He also went to Sutala. He toured all over the ocean. He went beyond the universe to the place of Mahavishnu. but his sweetest pastimes are in Vrindavan. So I'd like to speak to you all evening about Krishna, but there are other programs, dramas, prasadam, more kirtan. So I request you to leave here. When you leave, we're not asking you to leave now, but when you leave with some books about Krishna. Krishna's instruction, most important instructions, are given in the famous Bhagavad Gita, which is available here in English, Finnish, and we have one copy in Hindi. 2 copies. And we also have the Dasham Skanda, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, available. Only 1 copy in Hindi, is it? Or, You have English also?
English and Finnish.
We have, yes, this is available in English and Finnish. And in Hindi also 1 copy. And the best thing you can do is to take a whole set of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many volumes in Finnish?
12.
This comes in 12 volumes in Finnish. And in English, 30. But we have parts of a set. So, you can get part of a set in English, and later on you can fill up the jigsaw puzzle. Anyway, there's no need to say, because if they want Finnish, they can take the Finnish. So I should finish what I'm saying. So we request you, please take some books and learn about Krishna. Krishna is our best friend. So please learn about Krishna from these books. Now I'll speak in Hindi. So those who don't understand might want to go to the temple room where the program will continue. Oh, okay. Alright, the program will continue here. तो आज जन्माष्टमी है, भगवान श्री कृष्ण का आविर्भाव दिवस। भगवद गीता में भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं, अजोपि सन अव्ययात्मा भूतानम ईश्वरोपि सन प्रकृतिं स्वाम अधिष्ठाय संभवामि आत्ममाया। अर्थात श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि मैं अजा हूँ, अर्थात मेरा जन्म कभी भी नहीं होता है। तो हम कैसे जन्माष्टमी उद्यापन करते हैं? अगर भगवान का जन्म नहीं होते हैं तो कैसे हम भगवान का जन्मदिन पालन करते हैं? तो श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि मैं अजा हूँ, मेरा जन्म नहीं होते हैं, मैं त्रिकाल अतीत हूँ, तो फिर भी मैं इस प्रापंचिक भौतिक जगत में प्रकट होते हैं मेरी स्वरूप शक्ति, अंतरंग शक्ति के द्वारा। तो भगवान का जन्म होते हैं, लेकिन भगवान का जन्म एक साधारण जीव का जन्म जैसे नहीं है। इनका तथाकथित जन्म इनकी निजी इच्छा के अनुसार होती है। भगवान आते हैं इस भौतिक जगत में हमको उद्धार करने के लिए। तो भगवान जन्म लेते हैं। कैसे जन्म लेते हैं? वे वासुदेव और देवकी के पुत्र के रूप में, लेकिन वास्तव में वे ही सब के पिता है। भगवद गीता में श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं, पिता हम अस्य जगत माता धाता पितामह। मैं सब के पिता माता, मैं सब के आधार हूँ, मैं सब के पितामह हूँ। तो कैसे भगवान जो सबके पिता है, कैसे वे वासुदेव और देवकी के पुत्र के रूप में आते हैं? तो वास्तव में भगवान किसी के पुत्र नहीं है, सब भगवान के संतान है। लेकिन इनकी दिव्या लीला प्रकट करने के लिए, प्रेम, परस्पर प्रेम आस्वाद करने के लिए वे वासुदेव और देवकी, नंद और यशोदा के पुत्र के रूप में आते हैं। इनकी दिव्य माया, इनकी दिव्य शक्ति प्रकट करके आते हैं और विशेषकर नंद महाराज और यशोदा माई इनकी दिव्य माया शक्ति का प्रभाव से मोहित होते हैं और वे सोचते हैं कि ये बालक हमारा लड़का है, हमारा संतान है। तो ये दिव्य माया है। हम जो बद्ध जीव है, हम सब भगवान की बहिरंग शक्ति, इनकी बाह्य माया शक्ति से मोहित होते हैं और उस माया से हम सोचते हैं कि ये व्यक्ति मेरा पिताश्री है और ये लड़का मेरा बालक है। लेकिन वो सब संबंध जो है इस भौतिक जगत में सब क्षणिक है, सब अस्थायी है। लेकिन वो संबंध जो कृष्ण और इनके प्रिय भक्तों के साथ में है वो स्थायी है, वो माया की प्रकृति नहीं है, वो कृष्ण की दिव्य लीला के अंतर्गत में है। तो कृष्ण है भगवान, वे त्रिकालातीत है, वे सबके ऊपर है, वे सर्वशक्तिमान है। लेकिन दिव्य इनके अंतरंग भक्तों के साथ प्रेम लीला का माधुर्य आस्वाद करने के लिए भगवान श्री कृष्ण हमारे बीच में उपस्थित होते हैं और अर्जुन के द्वारा भगवत गीता प्रचार करने से भगवान श्री कृष्ण हम जो बद्ध जीव है हमको कहते हैं कि हे जीवों, तुम्हारी स्थिति इस भौतिक जगत में नहीं है। भौतिक जगत में हम बार बार जन्म लेते हैं और बार बार मर जाते हैं और जन्म और मृत्यु के बीच में खाली संघर्ष होते हैं। तो इस भौतिक जगत में सुख नहीं है। हम इतना सब प्रयास करते हैं सुख के लिए, लेकिन सुख नहीं मिलते। सुख है भगवान श्री कृष्ण के चरण के शरण में, सुख है गोलोक धाम में श्री कृष्ण की दिव्य आनंदमयी लीला में है। इसलिए श्री कृष्ण जो गोलोक वासी है, इस भौतिक जगत में आते हैं और हमको बुलाते हैं, यहाँ मत रहो, इस भौतिक जगत में मत रहो, मेरे चरण में आ जाओ। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज। सभी जीव की वास्तविक स्थिति है, वास्तविक शरण है भगवान श्री कृष्ण के कमल चरणों में। तो इसलिए भगवान श्री कृष्ण आते हैं और हमको भगवद गीता प्रचार देते हैं, जिससे हमारा परम कल्याण हो सकते हैं। तो भगवद गीता क्या है, भगवान की दिव्य वाणी क्या है, अभी समय नहीं है ये सब कहने के लिए। तो अच्छा हो आप खाली एक बार साल में नहीं आए, हम हर रोज सुबह और शाम को भगवद गीता प्रवचन करते हैं। आप हर रोज यहाँ आइए। ये आज जन्माष्टमी है, तो भगवान की सेवा और भगवान का स्मरण खाली एक बार साल में नहीं होना चाहिए, हर रोज होना चाहिए। हर क्षण होना चाहिए। तो इसलिए आपको आमंत्रण है, आप हर रोज और जब भी सुविधा हो आपके लिए कम से कम साल में एक बार आइए, रविवार को आइए, और घर में आप हर रोज कृष्ण की भक्ति कीजिए, कृष्ण की पूजा और भगवद गीता का अध्ययन कीजिए, और इस प्रकार आप कृष्ण भक्ति में तन्मय हो। कृष्ण भक्ति में तन्मय होना इस दुर्लभ मानव जन्म का एक ही उद्देश्य है। और अभी श्री कृष्ण की कृपा से, श्रील प्रभुपाद की कृपा से, इस देश जो मथुरा से बहुत दूर है, तो इस देश में भी आप भगवद गीता और श्रीमद् भागवत मिल सकते हैं। तो आज एक बहुत ही शुभ दिवस है। यदि हम हर रोज कृष्ण भक्ति करेंगे तो हमारा पूरा जीवन शुभ बन जाएगा और हर रोज शुभ दिवस होगा। तो इसलिए हम आप लोग से अनुरोध करते हैं, आप खाली यहाँ से खाली हाथ मत जाइए, आप भगवद गीता, श्रीमद् भागवतम और ये सब अमूल भक्ति ग्रंथ ले जाइए। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम